In case you didn't catch my thumbnail, Pokemon Legends Arceus is brilliant! I've spent about 10 hours with this game so far, and I am absolutely loving the new changes that have been made to the Pokemon formula. Just as an FYI, this is not a review of the game, as I have not yet completed it. Rather, this is a video detailing my initial impressions of it in the 10 hours I've put into it. You can look forward to my review of Pokemon Legends Arceus later this week. In this video, I will be documenting the aspects of the game that I am enjoying quite a bit and some of the bugs I have encountered. Thankfully, those are very minor. I'm also an experienced Pokemon player, having played every single mainline Pokemon game in every generation, including Red and Blue back in the mid-90s when I was just a little wee lad. So I've been very much looking forward to the massive changes Pokemon Legends Arceus has implemented. Without further ado, let's jump in. Immediately off the bat, I was thrilled with the free-form camera and the open landscapes to explore. It is such a contrast to the older Pokemon titles with their isometric bird's-eye views of the world. And upon immediately starting up Pokemon Legends Arceus and exploring the beach where you begin your adventure, I knew at that moment that this game was offering me something incredibly different and special. With this new perspective, the world and landscapes feel so much grander, giving the player immediate information about his or her surroundings. Wild Pokemon, berry trees, and other craftable items, and most importantly, topographical information pertaining to cliffs, ravines, hillsides, and more are all presented to you as you plan your route through Hisui's largely uncivilized landscapes. This added spatial awareness gives the player a lot of control as to how they want to tackle nearly every aspect of the game's new exploration modes, and it is absolutely brilliant. Hiding in grass and waiting for the Pokemon in your sights to turn around so you can nail it in the head with a Pokeball is incredibly fun and rewarding. Riding atop a Pokemon throughout the vast landscapes and participating in certain minigames like balloon popping adds more character and optional side content that rewards the player with extra goodies that helps make your journey all the more easier, and at the very least, more accommodating. The large open landscapes are done very well, and really show off the impressive sense of scale that this game is pushing out front and center. Although this game isn't truly an open world adventure, the fragmented environments are still big enough to give off the impression that it is one. Players can stand atop hillsides and mountaintops and look far into the horizon to see lands that they can very much travel to. Hopefully, future entries in this series will become fully open world, but this is an awesome first start, and I am more than happy with what Game Freak have managed to accomplish here. Many players are assaulting the graphics of this game, and I see where they're coming from. But I'm not so harsh on the graphics, as I believe they get the job done well enough here. No, this game is definitely not as impressive as Breath of the Wild, but it doesn't have to be either. I think they did a great job with combining a cartoonish Pokemon aesthetic with ancient Japanese watercolor aesthetics that really cement this game as a title that takes place many years in the past. It would be nice to see Game Freak create more detailed environments in future installments, but as their first foray into a fully 3D large-scale Pokemon game, they've done remarkably well with this graphical style. While in these big open areas, I also greatly enjoyed picking up crafting items written throughout the world, as being able to craft many types of Pokeballs, potions, lures, and other items is very convenient and presents you a way to prevent you from spending your hard-earned Pokédollars on these items. It also doesn't hurt to see the experience points pop out when you shake trees for berries and collect ore and shards. Like the many other recent Pokemon games, EXP share is utilized between all Pokemon in your party, so your Pokemon will be gaining EXP quite often. With how frequent you can battle in this game, Pokemon seem to level up much faster than the older titles, making it much easier to reach those final evolutions that would have otherwise taken many hours in the older games. I found that I would experiment with so many different types of Pokemon the further I played through Arceus, as there are so many different kinds of Pokemon that appear the further into your selected area, and some that only come out at night, like the older titles. The Pokemon battles are also much more fun this time around, and I know they are pretty much the same as they have always been, but the seamless transitions to battle are so fresh, and not having to see your party warp to an open area of the map to commence a battle is certainly refreshing. Having the benefit of using agile and swift attacks adds additional layers of tactics to the battling this time around, as well as seeing the turn counter on the right side of the screen. These new features do enough to help established Pokemon players, like myself, feel at home, while presenting enough new information and tactical opportunities to feel like a fresh new experience. It was also a joy to see Pokemon react to me on the field, as some Pokemon, like Starly, are very skittish and are easily spooked, whereas Geodudes are quite aggressive and will try to take you out before you can ready your Pokemon or Pokeball. Dodging out of harm's way is a key mechanic in this title, and the iframes these rolls give you are invaluable when dealing with larger enemy strikes. It makes this game's combat and encounters feel so much more real and visceral, and add an incredible level of realism to the Pokemon catching and battling. Each Pokemon's personalities are portrayed wonderfully here as well, and I especially loved seeing the acute sense and awareness of Kricketune, and the immediate teleporting of the Abras once alerted to your presence. The characteristics and personalities of the Pokemon in Legends Arceus have been presented so well here. Now, I'm not going to talk much about the story here, as I don't want to spoil it for you if you haven't played it, but I would like to talk about the game's 3D environments and how they allow for more expressive characters that actually enhance the game's presentation. NPCs all have a variety of facial expressions, and although many are very exaggerated and quite comical, it gives the world of Pokemon so much more charm. Characters are also much more identifiable, as the sprites of the old games were mostly copied and pasted across their respective games. Whereas here, nearly every NPC I came across in Jubilife Village was unique and sported their own personalities, with having a lot more things to say. This game's characters just feel more three-dimensional, both in their appearance and in their personalities, and they each have their own names. Job very well done here. It's also worth mentioning the incredible amount of side quests on offer here. I've played through 2 regions of Hisui and have unlocked more than 30 side quests, all ranging in crafting certain items for people, catching specific Pokemon, talking to people, playing mini games, and more. Although these are standard fare when it comes to optional content, the fact that we have these quests in a Pokemon game makes me so happy and impressed with how Game Freak is expanding this formula. My 10 hours have only yielded minor bugs so far, which are entirely graphical. At some points when I pan the camera around, some trees in the distance will flicker quite distractingly and don't hamper the experience at all. Just something worth mentioning. I can't wait to put more time into Pokemon Legends Arceus, and all the changes here are so refreshing as a longtime player of the franchise. I love collecting Pokemon in games, and the more realistic and immediate nature to doing just that makes this Pokemon adventure the most rewarding one in the franchise for me by quite a large margin. I hope that the game continues to remain engaging throughout the rest of the journey, and I will update you all with a final verdict once I finish the game's story and experienced everything the game has to offer. Now it's your turn. What do you think of Pokemon Legends Arceus? Have you been playing it? What are your thoughts on this game? I'd love to hear what you all have to say in the comments below, as I know this title is quite divisive. Also, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support greatly helps me out. And with that, get out there and fill up your Pokedexes. I'll see you next time in my Pokemon Legends Arceus review. Later.